Step-by-step exam solution. OK Math class, training you to excel. Step-by-step exam solution. Subscribe, like, share, click for alert so that you will be notified when the next video is released. Please drop a comment. Your comment will help me to serve you better. Suggest the next topic you think we should treat. OK Math class presents step to exam success. Step 1, pray. Step 2, plan. Step 3, prepare. Step 4, preview. Step 5, perform. These are 5 steps. OK Math class, step-by-step exam solution to bearings and distances. In this series of videos, we'll be dealing with bearings and distances. In video 1, we are looking at introduction to bearings, foundation to bearing. Number 1, we'll be looking at compass direction. Number 2, we'll be looking at types of bearings. You have compass, acute angle, 3 digits. Then number 3, we'll be looking at reciprocal bearings or backward bearings. Number 4, we're going to look at conversion from compass bearing to acute bearings, from acute bearings to 3-digit bearings. We're going to look at this. So therefore, we're going to look at the objective of this particular presentation. What are our objectives? Objectives are, number 1, find the bearing of one point from another point using compass directions. Number 2, represent and calculate back bearings. Number 3, convert acute bearings to 3-digit bearings. Let's go into the presentation proper. The compass direction. There are 4 major compass directions: north, east, west, and south. These are the 4 major compass directions. Then we also have midway, making 8. And if you divide each into 2, you can have 16. But for this presentation, we're going to stop at the 8 compass directions. So now, let's go. The 4 major compass directions are, as I mentioned, number 1 is north. You can see the north here. So that direction is north. Then, number 2, we have east. You can see the east. The compass is, the arrow is pointing at that direction, east. That will give us east. Then, number 3, you have south. The arrow is pointing, that's south. Number 4, then you have west. See the arrow pointing in that direction, west. So that's west. So these are the 4 major compass directions. Minor compass directions. There are also 4 minors. The 4 minor compass directions are, number 1, you have the arrow pointing northeast. Northeast is halfway between north and east. Usually in acute angle format, we write that as north 45 degrees east, north 45 degrees east. Then number 2, you have southeast. Southeast is halfway between south and east. In the acute angle format, that is written as south 45 degrees east. Then number 3, you have southwest. Southwest. Southwest is halfway between south and west, written as south, 45 degree west, south, 45 degree west. Then the last but not the least is the northwest direction, which is halfway between north and west. In acute angle format, that is written as north, 45 degree west. These are the four minors and the four majors, giving us 8 cardinal points or 8 cardinal compass directions. So now, 8 cardinal compass directions, you have north, south, then you have east, west. Then we're now going to introduce halfway between north, east, and west, south. Then you have northeast and southwest. Then if we do the same thing on the other side, this side, between north and west and south and east, then you are going to have northwest and southeast, giving us 8 cardinal compass directions. So we're stopping at 8, we're not going to go into half, 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 making 16. So the bearing and its types. First of all, what is bearing? Bearing is the direction of a point with respect to another point. The direction of a point with reference, with respect from another point. Based on that, we have acute angle or simple bearing formats. Please, before we continue, like and share. Is very important. So the acute angle or simple bearing, what is it? The bearing of any point is measured from the north in the clockwise or anti-clockwise direction, or from the south in the clockwise or anti-clockwise directions. So please, these formats, you can only measure from the north or south. Then you can move clockwise or anti-clockwise. Look at, I can measure from the north, clockwise or anti-clockwise. I can measure from the south, anti-clockwise or clockwise. We cannot measure direction from the east or west. Now, number 2, we want to consider is that the bearing or angle must lie between 0 degree and 90 for acute angle. Acute angle lies between 0 and 90, so we cannot have 120 as an acute angle. So that is very important for our own observation. So now, we're now going to continue. Now, let's consider 2 points. The bearing of the point B from the point A is giving us north, 60 degree east. How do we represent that? That means starting from the north, we can move clockwise towards the east, but we are going to move for only 60 degree. So now the compass will rotate, pointing at 60 degree. Then we can now draw our line, and then draw our line from the north. That will give us the angle we have looking for, giving us a 60 degree. How do we draw it? Let's assume we want to make construction. Then, putting my pencil and my ruler, I draw a line. After drawing the line, then I place my ruler to make a point where I place my compass. That's the point. Then I put my compass at this point. Don't give up. Now we have that. Then I can now use my pencil to mark the point for 90. From that 90, I can count 60. 60. From 90, I move 60. That will give me here Or if you start from the east, you just move 30. That will give me 90 from the north, or 60 from the north, sorry. So now, from that point, 30, I will now mark a point there, and then mark a point there. Then I have the 3 points. Then I can remove the pencil and the compass. Using a ruler, I'll join these points. And then do the same thing here. Join the point. That gives me north, 60 degree east. Remember this is acute angle format. So north, 60 degree east. We only measure from the north, either east or west. Or you can also measure from the south, either east or west. Never measure from east or west in any direction. That is committing mathematical suicide. Don't try it. So now, the compass has continued to rotate. Now the compass is pointing in the direction of 150. So now, what angle is that? 150. 150. So now, that 150, remember we are looking at acute angle. Now it's no more north, it's south. So from south, we're going to move in the direction of anti-clockwise direction to get at this position. So that means the remaining angle from south to the point 150 will be 30. So that will give us 30. And in our acute angle format, that is written as south 30 degree west. So that's how we write it. So now, you can try this on your own. Use your ruler and a protractor. Locate the position of y if the bearing of y from x is what? South, 30 degree east. You can do that on your own. That is why it's called class activity. So we'll move to the next slide for the continuation. Now we're going to look at 3-digit or 3-figure bearing. Remember, we'll look at acute angle bearing. Now 3-digit or 3-figure bearings. In 3-figure or 3-digit bearings, all angles are measured from the north and in the clockwise direction only. All angles are measured from the north in the clockwise direction only. Only clockwise direction is allowed, permitted in this particular format, 3-digit. Angles should be measured from north. The opposite, starting from the north, measuring the anti-clockwise direction is not allowed. Please don't do that. Only from the north in the clockwise direction. So that's what it's supposed to be. Number 2, all the angles measured must be written in 3 digits. That's why we call 3-digit bearings or 3-figure bearing. 3 digits or 3 figures. For example, north can be written as 0, 0, 0 or 360. But starting point is 0, 0, 0. Ending point is 360. Then that is that. What is the angle? At what angle is the pointer pointing? Is 70. That should be written as 070 degree. Next, what is the value? 120. That's already 3 digits. Next, what is the value? That's south, 180. Next, what's the value? It's 240. That's 240. Next, what's the value? 270. Last, what's the value? 330. So you have 330. So you have there these angles. Then finally we'll come back to the starting point. That's 360. That's why knots can either be 0, 0, 0 or 360. Class activity. Now, look at this and say the answer. Although I will show the answer, but remember this class activity. Say the bearings of the following using the 3 figures format. What is that? 20. Next. What is that? 160. Next. What is that? 290. Finally, then we are now going to look at directional and three-figure format and acute angle format. How do we compare them? So let's see what to do. Number one, direction, north. We can see in three-figure bearing is 0, 0, 0, or 360. In the acute angle format, we say due north. Then direction northeast. In three-figure bearing is 0, 4, 5. Acute bearing is north, 45 degree east. East is 0, 9, 0, due east. Southeast is 135 degree south, 45 degree east. South is 180, due south. Southwest 225 or south, 45 degree west for acute angle format. West is 270 for three-figure bearing due west. Northwest is 315 or north, 45 degree east. So now that gives us that. Then we can see the pointer has moved. We can see the angle there. What is the angle? At what angle is that pointing? Just close to 40, but not exactly 40. That is 037 in 3-digit or three-figure format. The three-figure bearing is 037 degree. Acute angle bearing then should be north, 37 degree east. So we have the pointer at 0, and then it moves and stopped at what angle? Almost 120. So what angle is that? That is 117 degrees if you measure it carefully. 3-digit format is 117. Now, for me to measure the acute angle format, this has gone beyond north, below east. So we can now measure from the south. Now, measuring the angle from the south, you have that. Then that's this angle. This angle will give me 180 minus 117. So therefore, 180 minus 117 will give me 63 degree, which will be south, 63 degree east. Then another example, that's north. Then we moved, and what is that? The angle is formed between 250 and 240, but very close to 250. So what is the value of that angle? From the north is 246 degrees in 3-digit format. Now in acute angle format, we measure from the south in the same direction. So now we have for the acute angle, we measure from the south in the same direction, and then that will give me this angle. How do I get it? It should be 246 minus 180, angle on a straight line. So that will give me the acute angle format as south, 66 degrees west. Then next, we have for north, and then again, we measure down. Now we are past west. Now we are between north and west. What would that give us? It's between 340 and 350, and precisely 344 degrees. To measure the acute angle, we start from the north and we move in the anti-clockwise direction. So when we do that, we are going to get that. Then we measure the angle. That will give me 360 minus 344. So therefore, the acute angle format should be north, 16 degree west. So now we can see the relationship between acute angle format and 3-digit or 3 figures formats. Now, class activity again. Make a sketch of each of the following bearings. That's copy that and make a sketch on your own. So 150, 250, 320. Please, we have work to do. Know that I believe in you. I know you can do it, so that's what I'm giving you to do. Please don't disappoint me. Do that. Reciprocal or back bearing. What do you mean by reciprocal or back bearing? Now I have a compass, then I have north-south direction, and then I mark my east-west direction. Then I'm going to start from this point. I'm now going to look at another compass on the other side. Now I will join the direction of sights, the line of view between A and B. Then I'm looking at somebody at B from the position A. We say the bearing of B from A. It is from the north, then certain angle to the east direction. Now, what of somebody at B looking back at somebody at A? Definitely it cannot be the bearing of B from A. It will now be the bearing of B, A from B. Now we're looking back. Starting from the north, we have to move all the way to the line joining A and B. That angle is the reciprocal or backward bearing. So this is the forward bearing. That angle there is the forward bearing. And the angle is 074, 3 digits, or north, 74 degree east. Now, the bearing of B from A is forward bearing, and that's the angle stated. Now, to move from B and looking at somebody at A, the bearing of A from B, that's the movement now, and that's the angle representing that. Measure from the north, that's the angle. So that angle shown now is what we call backward bearing. You can also call it back bearing. You can also call it reciprocal bearing. And it is 254 degrees. That's the angle. Then, how do we find the back bearing if the forward bearing is known? And in the reverse case, how do we get the forward bearing if the back bearing is given? So we have that. The bearing from A to B is backward bearing, and that's 254 degrees. So now, next, we're going to see how are they related, reciprocal or back bearing. The bearing of B from A, backward bearing, is equal to forward bearing plus 180. That means if you stay at A and you're looking at somebody at B, that is a forward bearing. And then if you're at B and you're looking at somebody at A, that is a back bearing. And we are saying here that backward bearing is equal to the forward bearing plus 180. That is if the forward bearing is less than 180. Take note of that. So therefore, back bearing or backward bearing is equal to forward bearing plus 180 if the forward bearing is less than 180. If the bearing of A from B, forward bearing is greater than 180. If it's greater than 180, then we need to subtract, not adding. So therefore it will be forward bearing minus 180. Please take note of that. Write this down in somewhere in your notes. It is Very important because you will use that to be smart in solving objective questions in any exam. So let's look at example. Now the example says find a bearing whose reciprocal or back bearing is this and that. So now the reciprocal bearing is that, and then you add that, you have that, and then the other one is greater than 180, so you subtract 180. Please, we have come to the end of this presentation. Remember, this is an introduction to bearing. In the next video, we are now going to dive into bearing proper. How do we sketch the diagrams? What method do we use to solve the problems? That's what we'll be looking at in the next video. Please subscribe, like, share, and click for notification so that the next video you will be alerted. Please, I need your comments. Drop a comment and tell us what to do next. How do we serve you better? It's very important. Thank you.